There's a moment when everything shatters at once. The plans you trusted collapse. The people you counted on disappear. And the life you built suddenly feels too small.
This message is for you, the one standing in the middle of a life that no longer makes sense. You look around and see fragments of the future you imagined lying at your feet. The weight on your chest is real. The silence feels heavier than the noise ever did. You've tried to stay strong. You've tried to pretend you're fine. You've tried to hide the exhaustion from the world because somewhere inside, you're afraid that admitting your pain means admitting defeat. But it doesn't. You're here because something in you refuses to give up, even if you can't explain why. Something inside you knows that the breaking you're experiencing isn't punishment, it's transformation. It's the universe removing the pieces that no longer serve you, clearing the space you need to grow into who you were always meant to become. This message matters because you're standing at the edge of a moment that will define you. A moment where everything falling apart becomes the very reason you rise.
When life begins to fall apart, your first instinct is to hold everything together. You cling to old expectations, past versions of yourself, and people who were never meant to stay forever. You fight the collapse, thinking you can outrun the breaking if you just stay strong enough, quiet enough, numb enough. But the truth is, the harder you hold on, the more painful the unraveling becomes. Life isn't breaking to hurt you, it's breaking to show you. The pieces falling away reveal the weight you've carried for years. They reveal the people who walked beside you only when it benefited them. They reveal the dreams you outgrew but kept chasing because you were afraid to step into the unknown. The breaking strips away illusion until all that's left is truth, raw, uncomfortable, honest. And in that honesty, you realize that what you're losing was never the foundation of your future. It was the limitation of your past. The life collapsing around you isn't falling because you're weak. It's falling because you're growing.
There is a depth to breaking that most people don't talk about. The kind of depth that forces you to meet the parts of yourself you've spent years avoiding. Pain has a strange clarity. It silences the world long enough for you to hear your own voice again. It exposes the spaces where you've been living too small, shrinking your truth, dimming your light, just to fit into a life that no longer matches your soul. When you fall apart, you're not being destroyed, you're being revealed. Every loss creates space. Every ending creates direction. Every collapse removes something you were never meant to carry into your next chapter. And buried in that breaking is a gift, the chance to rebuild yourself from a place of intention instead of fear. You stop moving for approval and start moving for alignment. You stop chasing validation and start chasing truth. This isn't the moment you're being pushed down. It's the moment you're being pushed forward.
There comes a quiet moment, after the tears, after the silence, after the confusion, when something inside you shifts. You look at the same ruins, but they don't look the same anymore. You realize you've survived the very thing you thought would end you, and that realization hits deeper than any pain ever did. It awakens something strong in you, something ancient, something resilient, something that refuses to die. You begin rebuilding in small ways. You speak truths you once swallowed. You set boundaries you once feared. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You let go of people who cannot meet you where you're going. And with each step, you feel your strength returning. Not the fragile strength that comes from pretending, but the grounded strength that comes from rising after you fall. This is the moment you understand. The breaking was never happening to you. It was happening for you, not to punish you, but to prepare you, not to weaken you, but to wake you up. And once that realization settles in your bones, nothing can pull you back to who you used to be.
So, when everything falls apart, don't rush to rebuild the life you've already outgrown. Let the pieces fall. Let the silence speak. Let the old version of you fade away without fighting for its survival. Because this moment, the one that feels like loss, like emptiness, like darkness, is the moment your rise begins. Not after you heal, but because you're healing. Not after the storm ends, but because you walked through it. You are not the person who fell. You are the person who chose to stand back up. And the moment everything falls apart is the moment you rise into who you were always meant to become.